We need to talk about the latest Dragon Ball game. It definitely has some issues, but I'm not sure those issues are as severe as some are trying to make it sound like, or are they? I've found 6 separate issues that we need to address, with the last one being probably the biggest issue of all. If you agree with any of the points or possible fixes I mentioned today, leave a like on the video, because if someone from the Squadra team sees this video and there's a lot of likes, then it helps reinforce what I'm saying. Issue number 1, Genshin Squadra isn't a gacha game. The issue is that people actually think Genshin Squadra is a gacha game, and I'm so thankful that it isn't. But I asked a friend of mine I used to play League with if he wanted to get some games in on Squadra, and he told me he already played Dokkan, and one Dragon Ball gacha game was one too many. He wasn't aware there wasn't any type of character gacha in Squadra, because he had seen posts saying the game wasn't free-to-play friendly, so he assumed Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra was a gacha game. I think this misconception has happened because it's commonly compared to Dokkan and Legends when it's nothing like those two games. Now, the game does have a gacha element, but it's purely for cosmetics. And those other two games are full-on gacha games. Their primary form of monetization is acquiring characters through summons, whereas in Genshin, you either unlock the characters through playing, aka for completely free, or by spending money outright to buy the characters, but not through a gacha system. Issue 2, it's a console game, but it's also a mobile game. Squadra is the first of its kind in the Dragon Ball gaming sphere. It's a console game and a PC game, while simultaneously also being a new mobile game. Mobile games already have a very specific preconceived notion about them, but specifically, the Dragon Ball mobile games can be very greedy. So the second someone hears it's also a mobile game, their guard is immediately up. You team that up with Dokkan and Legends heads saying that Genshin isn't free-to-play friendly, and the game already has a certain stench for many people. But is it actually not free-to-play friendly? That brings us to issue 3. It's free. Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra is the first of its kind for Dragon Ball games, but by no means is it some sort of new genre of game. It's a free-to-play MOBA, and that is a very established genre of game with very established guidelines for how things work in these types of games. The characters are basically always obtainable for free. Each game handles it differently, but the end result is that in a MOBA, you should be able to acquire the characters for free. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, you can acquire all the characters in Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra for free. Now, did you notice the asterisk there at the end? That's where a lot of the Squadra isn't free-to-play friendly discussion started, because with the release of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, we got to see how Squadra is going to handle character releases, at least for the time being. Right now, if you want to play as Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you have to spend 250 gems to get him. If you buy 250 gems outright and don't go for a larger bundle, it's $7 US. It does obviously get cheaper if you're willing to buy a bigger bundle of gems. For example, if you buy the $10 pack, you get 700 gems, and with your free gems you'll acquire from playing the game, you could buy all 3 Season 1 characters for $10, effectively making the characters cost a little over $3 each. In our reality, this doesn't sound too bad. And if this were a fighting game, no one would even bat an eye at it. But because it's a MOBA, things are viewed very differently. You will be able to acquire Super Saiyan 3 Goku for free, but after Season 1 is over, which as of filming this is still over 40 days away. Now, the primary way that you acquire characters for free in Squadra is through the star rank system. Each character you own in the game has a star rank level, and as you play the game, you acquire hero fragments that allow you to level them up. As you level them up, it increases your overall star rank level and awards you with various items, including characters. The game gives you Super Saiyan Goku for free, just for logging in, Daima Goku for free right now because of pre-registration rewards, and then in the first 12 star rank levels, they give out 7 more characters. After launching the game and playing for just a little while, you'll have access to close to half the game's roster at the time of recording this, and that's pretty substantial, and also why it shouldn't even be remotely compared to games like Dokkan and Legends. And that all sounds great until we got to Season 1. Issue number 4, Squadra is pay to win. These terms, pay to play and pay to win, are getting thrown around a lot when it comes to Squadra. Pay to play would be the proper terminology here, and not so much pay to win. Pay to win is reserved more for games like Legends. The more you spend and summon, the better your characters get. That's not the case in Squadra. There's no dupe system. We aren't summoning for characters, nothing like that. On Super Saiyan 3 Goku's initial launch, people were immediately calling him broken, and that's where the pay to win conversation started, because you have no way of unlocking him for the time being without spending money. funny. But as time has gone on, people agree he is still very good, but the original Super Saiyan Goku still has the edge as being the better attacker, as well as other characters in the game being just as good or better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. With that said, there is still a better option that you can unlock and use for free right now. So saying the words pay to win when describing the Super Saiyan 3 Goku situation in Squadra is just incorrect. Pay to play, on the other hand, is a different story, because right now that is in fact the case. So what can Squadra do differently in the future to circumvent this issue, and why should they view this as an issue? First off, just make the new characters available immediately in the star rank system. Even if it's a grind, at least it's something the player base can immediately know the work it's going to take to get him for free and begin working towards it. Secondly, they can introduce hero trials. They already do this sort of typical MOBA thing where each week different heroes are unlocked for free for everyone to use, but some MOBAs also offer hero trials where you can test out the character before buying them. I saw some pretty wild claims about how they're currently handling Super Saiyan 3 Goku and how that's going to actually kill the game, but I don't think it's anywhere near that severe, not even remotely. So for my background, I've played several MOBAs over the years, and they each handle character unlocks a bit differently, but we'll zone in on two here for comparison's sake: League of Legends and Mobile Legends Bang Bang. League of Legends for its more classic MOBA approach, and MLBB for its more mobile MOBA approach, since Squadra technically falls into both categories. In League, when new characters drop, you can immediately unlock them using their free currency known as Blue Essence, or by using their premium currency known as RP. The newer the character, the more they cost for both RP and Blue Essence, but they are available to purchase for free immediately. League has made unlocking new champions easier as the game has gotten older, since the roster is now over 170 champs. But generally speaking, it used to take like 20 to 40 hours of just playing League to earn enough Blue Essence to unlock champions. Then we've got MLBB, which is an interesting one. When new characters drop, you can immediately unlock them using their free currency known as Battle Points, referred to as just BP, or using their premium currency known as Diamonds. The catch though with MLBB is that they actually put a limit on how much BP you can earn each week, and most new heroes cost 32,000 BP, and they cap you at 10,000 BP per week, and that's if you're min-maxing in that game. I mean, like actually playing that game a lot. So with their weekly caps, it takes almost a month of grinding to unlock new characters for free. Now, I'm specifically bringing up these two games because on one hand, I agree that Super Saiyan 3 Goku should have had some immediate way for you to obtain them for free. But on the other, there have been some pretty outlandish claims and demands from what is by all means a free-to-play game with no character gacha. I think we need to see how the Season 1 characters are integrated into the star rank system once we're in Season 2 before we get our pitchforks out. Because all three games that I mentioned here are free. They have to find some ways to incentivize spending in some form or fashion, with Squadra probably being the most consumer-friendly one at the moment. With MLBB's collab skin requirements of summoning for multiple items to unlock the full skins, and League having exalted skins and other high rarity skin types, we are nowhere near those levels in Dragon Ball Gexen Squadron right now. But when it comes to unlocking characters, I just saw a lot of people acting like MOBAs just hand you all the characters immediately, and that's just not the case for basically any MOBA I've ever played, unless it was one where you immediately paid up front for like a big character pack. So I think a lot of the claims I was seeing were either from people who are new to the genre, or maybe just haven't spent a lot of time in the genre, but grinding for characters is nothing new out of free-to-play MOBAs. But all that aside, we haven't really talked about why they should view the current community outcry about this as an issue. Issue number 5, Squadra's public perception. The public perception of a game in 2025 is everything. And a great example of why this is important is a brother game to Squadra known as Sparking Zero. I'm starting to see a few more positive memes about this game, like Sparking Zero is fun when you don't have a loser in your ear telling you it's bad. But besides a few of those, the internet collectively turned on that game, and I don't think the general consensus on that game will ever turn back to a positive light similar to the way it was before the game dropped. Right now, Squadra has almost 3,000 reviews on Steam with a mixed rating. That's not great. What I generally saw when going through the reviews was a lot about Super Saiyan 3 Goku being behind a paywall and a decent amount of criticism on the current balance of the game. This game is very new, and what I imagine will be a several-year life cycle minimum, so it can easily go down many different paths, but I'm hoping they will land on some really solid balance with all the characters where we don't constantly see the same 1 or 2 tanks every game, same 1 or 2 technicals every game, and of course the same 1 or 2 attackers every game. Balancing the game, I'm sure, isn't easy, but of the 2 things I mentioned, it is something that I do expect to see a turnaround on sooner than later, like we saw Piccolo already getting a solid buff. On the paywall front, I do think this is a team that will take feedback. Why do I think that? They actually care about their creators, and of all the Dragon Ball games I create content for, this one actually has a creator program. That is something that I cannot say for Legends or Dokkan. So I think with enough feedback from the creators and the community, we can see a change in the future on how they handle character releases. I think the initial reaction to Super Saiyan 3 Goku being paywalled was a little overblown, since they immediately let us know that he would also be available for free after Season 1. It personally didn't bug me as a player because I've already invested so many hours into this game, and I'm just so happy that it isn't a gacha game. You can literally watch my Super Saiyan 3 Goku video and see how happy I am that I can hop into the game and buy the character outright and be playing as him literally seconds after he releases, versus how it goes in Dokkan or Legends, where I might be summoning for an hour and still don't have the new unit. Plus, it's also obviously costing me infinitely more to get a character in Dokkan or Legends than what Super Saiyan 3 Goku costs in Genshin. I really enjoy this game, and I really want to see how far this game can go. So for those reasons, I do hope that in future seasons we can see character releases handled substantially different. I do think that the lack of a free-to-play currency in a MOBA is a bit strange. As you heard me mention, for both League and MLBB, they have free-to-play currencies that are how they allow you to unlock new characters immediately. The only thing close to free-to-play currency in Squadra right now are the capsules. They also let you earn the premium currency for free, but man, is it a slow drip. I believe from the free battle pass and weekly missions, you'll be able to afford one character for free if you choose to save your diamonds and spend them on a character, and that's pretty rough. But after bringing up how League handles character unlocks in MLBB, I actually think the star rank system in Squadra isn't too bad, and based on just how much these devs are putting into the characters and their designs, I genuinely feel like they care about this game. But there's one more issue, and it might just be the biggest issue that we haven't even discussed yet. Our sixth issue here is Squadra a MOBA. Now I started thinking about it, and what if the reason there's a difference in obtaining characters in Squadra versus other MOBAs is because they don't actually view Squadra as a MOBA. I read the official webpage, the Steam store page, and the App Store page for the game, and not once do they say the word MOBA or even Battle Arena anywhere. Then I started thinking, well, maybe MOBAs don't really call themselves MOBAs. No, they definitely do call themselves MOBAs. Could the disconnect here be that Squadra themselves don't view the game as a MOBA? Now, you and I, we both know what this is, okay? It's sort of a, let's call this a spade situation. But this could explain why Super Saiyan 3 Goku released as only a premium unit. I then started thinking, how much would it cost to purchase every character in Squadra? Like, you get Super Saiyan Goku and Daima Goku for free, so that leaves 4 250 gem characters and 17 120 gem characters. So it would cost you 3,040 gems total to buy every character from the very beginning, and the initial $40 pack in Squadra gives you 3,180 gems. Now, it would not be very wise to do this because, as I mentioned earlier, you can unlock several characters within the first few hours of playing this game, but I'm bringing this up because maybe they view their game closer to that of a Sparking Zero or a Fighters, and less like a League of Legends. This could actually explain the situation quite well. In a game like Fighters, it's the norm for a new character to come out and immediately cost money. New characters require dev time, which isn't free, so it's just an understood thing that a new character will set you back around $5. And I mentioned this earlier, but I really do feel like we can see that these devs actually just care about the game and care about the source material. So much so that I think it's even more so than a lot of games in the past. This game doesn't really give me cash grab vibes at all. And that's why I want to believe that the future of this game is going to be very bright. And hoping that your future involves this video right here. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this, because we're covering Squadra every time something new drops. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!